Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today, day 2 of the advent of cyber. We're going to cover this box actually has a lot to cover of data science if you're interested in it. I'm not going to cover the examples because they literally walk you through step by step and show examples of it. So just heads up, if you guys see where they show the examples and they're literally showing you the exact way to do it, I'm going to skip those and just do the stuff they don't show you exactly word for word because it doesn't help me to do it. But this one is actually covering data science, and the reason I put in quotes data science is because it is showing data science, but it's just showing you a very small portion of it, and it's showing you log analysis. So this is actually a really cool box because they introduce a few different concepts here and topics. Just heads up, this one may kind of throw some people a little confusing, but that's okay. So if you guys like this content, hit that sub button, hit that like button, and let's dive right into it. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much. We hit 10K this year, and I'm really appreciative. So let's dive into it. First things first, they're showing you Jupyter books here, Jupyter workbooks here. We can close that. If you never worked with them, that's fine. Just know that it's going to kind of take you a second to understand what's going on. Mess around with them a little bit. That's outside the scope. If you guys want me to do a entire video on them, let me know, and I'll do one below. Just let me know in the comments below. But basically, we're talking about data science here and how we can actually use certain things, analytics basically. We can use data to find certain things in cybersecurity. So, for instance, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to look at a PCAP file, and we're going to find how many times an IP address was used, whether it's the source or destination or whatever. The reason that's important is think about like a botnet, right? A botnet has to call back every so often, right? So let's say you're doing data analytics on your own network, and you notice that there's one IP address or one host or one domain name that your machine just keeps calling back to, and you notice it because you do data analytics on your network and see, hey, I go to Facebook every day. I don't, but just say that. I go to Facebook every day, right? And I do it every morning. And I have 500 callbacks or 500 requests to Facebook. But this random website that I don't go to every day, I have 10,000, right? Might want to look into what that website is, right? So that's kind of just a real world example of what this data analytics can help you with. So first things first, it's going to have us, it shows you this using the terminal. We're going to use this workbook, and it'll explain it here. It'll show you. So these are the examples I'm talking about. I'm not going to walk you through because it walks you through word for word. I mean, it's showing you screenshots and word for word, but you can go through them here if you'd like. Now, let's go ahead and get down to the questions. So open the notebook workbook. So this is the workbook notebook right here, right? So you just double click it, super easy. And this is a workbook. If you've never worked with Jupyter, the nice thing is with this is see this code, you can run that code directly here. So you could have, you know, a bunch of notes and stuff like that, and then a code that you can run. So that's really nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to say how many packets were captured looking at the packet number. Now, you can see it's pretty self-explanatory. It says this is the required code, so do not modify this. So we have to import this code in order to make it work. Why do we have to do this? The reason we have to run this code is because we have to import this pandas in order for this to work, because that's the library they're using. So we say, hey, okay, we know it's required, so we put it down in our code here. We can take this and put it right in our code. This is for question 2. They show you which one's for question 2. Okay, so there you go. Now it says, remember, for example, they give you an example. So we just comment out that example and change it to fit us. So we say dataframe.count. Now here it says, remember the data frame in this notebook is called df. df equals the CSV file. So we're going to say df, right? So what's happening is we're importing the CSV file that's up here, network traffic.csv, and we're making it count for us. So we're making it count, and the question is how many packets. So we hit control enter, and control enter will actually run it, possibly. There we go. Took a while, but control enter will run the code in this specific little snippet. So you can see here we get packet number, we had 100, timestamp 100, source 100, blah, blah, blah. It counted everything for us. Well, perfect. We have 100. How many packets were captured? 100. There you go. Now, what IP address sent the most amount of traffic? Well, now we move on to question 3. Don't forget, we've got to go ahead and copy and paste these every time. It says it's required code. Remember that. It's mandatory. You can't, if you change it, it won't work. So keep that in mind. Now it says, for example, we comment out the example. I mean, if they're going to give it to you, use it, right? There's no point in reinventing the wheel here. Don't forget the data frame in this example is called DF, so we got to change that. And then the column name, well, look at the columns right here. Packet number, timestamp, those are the columns. So we want the source or destination. Well, it's saying what IP address sent the most traffic of blah, 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 blah. Okay? Well, we want source, right? Because that's who sent the traffic. So we say source. We change the column name to source. And then we hit Control Enter. Let it run. Well, look at this. It breaks it down for us. We have 10, 10, 1, 1, blah, blah. Well, the one that hit the most was 10, 10, 1, 1, 4. Or 10, 10, 1, 4, excuse me. That's at 15. That was the source IP address 15 times. So you can see pretty quickly you can start analyzing, because what if you're on your own on a personal network or an enterprise network and you do this data analytics and you notice the source or the destination, excuse me, is a malicious website, but you notice it 5 million times or 500,000 times or whatever on an enterprise network. That's pretty alarming, right? Like that maybe you might hit a malicious website once on accident if someone clicks something or something like that, but to keep going back to it means something's happening. There's a callback somewhere. Okay, so now what was the most frequent protocol? Well, this is question 4, and this one it says, remember you can use pandas value.counts on the appropriate column. So what I did here is we can see that we actually used it here for source, right? Well, I just changed the actual column name because we're asking for what protocol. So let's just do protocol. And now when we hit enter, control enter, excuse me, it's going to tell me which protocols it saw. Well, ICMP saw 27 times. The other one was 25, was the next highest, DNS. So right away I'm like, there you go. 27 times. So I hit ICMP, and there you go. Simple as that. Now, if you want to dive more into the data analytics and the Juniper workbooks and all that jazz, you do the examples in there. Mess around with it. They do have the other examples. It's a really cool tool. It's a really fun tool. But this was to show you how to analyze traffic, and I think they messed this one up a little bit because I think they got too involved with trying to introduce the workbooks, plus trying to introduce data analytics. Plus, I think if you've never used it before, it's going to be a little bit confusing. So that's why I skipped straight to the questions, because I don't want you to focus on the workbooks. I want you to focus on the questions, because that's what they're trying to provide here. They're trying to teach you. And that's why there's an intro to log analysis rather than an intro to Python. So keep that in mind. Go ahead and do this. If you guys like this, let me know. If you want to see me do a workbook video, I'm happy to do so. Just let me know in the comments below. But let's go ahead and move on to day 3. Hope you guys have a great day.